3 years into my marriage to Luke Zimmerman. He turned 35. I hadn't even hit 21 yet. Still finishing my senior year of college. I was still debating whether to become a full-time housewife when I overheard him telling industry bigwigs at a cocktail party, Sue's only asset is her youth. Compared to Belle's sophistication? She doesn't measure up. I'm starting to regret getting married. Keeping a mistress would have been cheaper. Divorcing now would cost me too much. I slid the divorce papers across his desk that same afternoon. When he saw the clause about me walking away empty-handed, relief flooded his features. He attempted magnanimity. I'll wire you $20 million as compensation. I smiled, declining. I'm young enough to play this game. He never knew my brother Gus practically owns the East Coast elite circles. Every connection that propelled Luke into this world? My brother's doing. Our divorce wouldn't ruin me, it would detonate his entire empire. During senior year internships, I chose Luke's company for the simple pleasure of glimpsing my handsome husband across conference rooms. As a junior analyst, I kept my presence secret even from him. Didn't want to distract the great Luke from his work. New hires gossiped constantly. 35 is peak masculinity for executives. Shame he's married to that nobody. Ugh. Why can't I land a billionaire? At 18, Luke had pursued me with single-minded intensity. Proposed marriage on our first date, sliding the diamond onto my finger before dessert arrived. I'd reciprocated with starry-eyed passion. We eloped after 12 months. Reckless, intoxicating, perfect. His CEO-style affection overwhelmed me like hurricane winds, sweeping me into gilded confusion. I might have remained blissfully ignorant forever if not for this internship. Belle changed everything. Luke's secretary embodied corporate glamour, all pencil skirts and calculated smiles. She managed his calendar, knew his business better than he did, accompanied him to every meeting. Until our marriage became public knowledge, the entire company assumed Belle was Mrs. Zimmerman. In the cafeteria line, veteran employees muttered, Luke's blind to have Belle right there. She quit an executive VP position to be his secretary. For God's sake. The truth unfolded like cheap origami. During late nights reviewing financials, I found charges for Parisian hotel suites during Luke's solo business trips. Belle's name appeared on luxury purchases charged to our shared account. When I confronted him, Luke didn't deny it. You want passion? You're the wife. She's practical. My lawyer served revised divorce papers next morning, this time claiming 60% of his assets. Luke smirk died reading Gus's name listed as co-counsel. At the settlement hearing, my brother's smirk mirrored Luke's old arrogant expression. Should have checked who funded your first venture capital round. Zimmerman. Now when industry journals mention Luke's plummeting net worth, they call it the blonde recession. I'm back in school finishing my MBA. Sometimes Belle sends LinkedIn requests. I ignore them while shopping for beach houses. The Hamptons are lovely this time of year. Just wait until the passion fades. Mr. Zimmerman will eventually divorce and end up with Belle. Rumors swirled endlessly, but I paid them no mind. After all, the passion between Luke and me ignited every single night. Everything changed during a business dinner when Belle got drunk and publicly confessed her feelings to Luke. What seemed like a confession turned into an ultimatum. Do I mean anything to you? She demanded. Luke remained silent for an uncomfortably long time. Then why won't you approve my resignation? Belle pressed, slamming her glass on the table. Luke finally replied with a weighted, "You do." His gaze softened as he added, "I need you. That's why I can't let you leave. Understand?" Belle downed a full shot of liquor, grabbed her purse, and stormed out. The room froze for 2 heartbeats before Luke chased after her. The attendees were all longtime colleagues who'd built the company with Luke and Belle. I wasn't there, but a plump coworker friend with a knack for gossip secretly filmed the scene and messaged me, "Do you think anything's gonna happen between Mr. Zimmerman and Belle tonight?" I typed back, "Probably not. They're grown adults who've known each other for years." shared drinks, and just confessed. You really think nothing's going down? My fingers trembled as I replied, Luke's married. He knows better. And Belle wouldn't stoop to being a homewrecker. Fair point. But we'll know for sure tomorrow. I didn't understand her meaning until Luke texted minutes later, staying out tonight. Last-minute client dinner. My chest tightened. I called repeatedly until he picked up. Sorry, babe. Had my phone silenced. What's up? His voice carried that familiar rasp I knew too well, the same breathlessness I'd heard during our most intimate moments. Are you really not coming home? Can't ditch the team. You get it, right? I dug nails into my palm. Any women at this dinner? He chuckled. Since when do you check up on me? Want me to video call to prove it? In the background, I heard fabric rustling against sheets, the exact sound of dress shirts sliding across hotel linens. Then came his stifled groan. The same primal release he'd made countless times in our bed. 3 years of passion had taught me every nuance of that sound. The realization hit like ice water. He didn't even realize he just betrayed himself. Good. I don't even need to stop him from cheating anymore. Because he's already done it. I forced a bitter laugh. No need for the video, I might go blind. Have fun. I'm going to bed. My heart turned to ash as I moved to hang up. Luke's raspy voice stopped me. Baby. We just finalized a major deal tonight. The team will be pulling overtime starting tomorrow. I'll probably work late every night, don't wait up for dinner. Overtime with the team. Or overtime with Belle. Didn't matter anymore. The call ended. I didn't sleep all night. At the office with dark circles. My brain still foggy. The chubby intern sidled up to continue yesterday's gossip. Something definitely happened between Luke and Belle last night. My brow furrowed as she whispered. His suit this morning was wrinkled, same outfit as yesterday. He never went home. I nodded weakly, complimenting her observational skills. And Belle was late today. She pressed, glowing like she'd been reborn. That ice queen? Today she's all sunshine and giggles. Reborn how? Softer. Sexier. That walk? You'll see. I looked up as Belle strutted in wearing that bodycon dress. The one I'd picked out shopping with Luke last month. My size was backordered, we'd prepaid with instructions to ship to his office. The dress arrived. The recipient changed. Belle chirped about buying coffee for everyone. Met with cheers. I sat in my corner. Acid churning in my stomach. Work couldn't distract me. By lunch, I picked at takeout while Belle carried boutique catering bags into Luke's office. She stayed. All afternoon. Emerged at 5:55 p.m. The intern snorted. Disgusting. Of all men. She goes after a married one? Xiao Zhang near the executive suite says she jumped into his lap the minute the door closed. Nearly turned the office into a motel. My phone buzzed with Xiao Zhang's covert photo, Belle feeding Luke sushi from his lap. Intimacy radiating off them. Can't imagine how his wife would feel seeing this. The intern sighed. Manager Wong, sitting across from us, furrowed his brows. They're clearly into each other, why are you two meddling? The chubby girl didn't catch his tone and joked. Yeah. Clearly the other woman. Manager Wong's expression darkened. He tossed a binder at her. Since you've got time for jokes. Finish this audit by end of day. No leaving until it's done. She deflated. I discreetly texted her frowny face. Manager Wong and Belle have history. He'll always side with her, drop the topic. She replied with a sobbing emoji. I typed frowny face, I'll help with the audit. Dinner's on me, crawfish? Her mood instantly lifted. That night, as we packed up post-overtime, Manager Wong cornered us. You've earned a late-night feast. Before we could protest, he herded us to a restaurant near the office. Dinner bled into KTV. Trapped in the neon-lit booth, we huddled in a corner playing Mobile Legends. Mid-game, The room flooded with industry heavyweights. My thumb froze over the screen as Luke Zimmerman's voice cut through the bass, CEO of Zenith Capital. Holding court at the center table. Conversation shifted from mergers to mistresses. Someone ribbed Luke, saw Belle's meant-to-be post. Finally caved and made her your side piece? I strained to hear over the music. Luke's reply was ice cold. She forced my hand. Threatening to quit after all these years? Zenith needs her. I need her. Think she'll stay content as the other woman? Another voice challenged. Remember how hard you chased that college girl? One whiff of this and your perfect wife might. Please. A third man snorted. What's Sue got besides youth? No connections. No skills. Even if she finds out, she'll cling to that Mrs. Zimmerman title like a life raft. The room erupted in knowing laughs. The chubby girl whispered, "Disgusting." Then added, "But they're not wrong. Sue's what, 22? No leverage. If she rocks the boat." I nodded. Modern problems require modern solutions. Quiet negotiations. Civilized divorces. Luke's glass clinked against the table. Sue's replaceable. Belle's temper? That's the real time bomb. Should've stuck to sugar babies. Divorces get messy. Ah yes. The messiness. Not that he know, Luke remains blissfully unaware the replaceable wife sitting 10 feet away just screenshot every word. Divorce would split his marital assets. If that's what Luke wants, so be it. I can leave with nothing. But he'll have to face the consequences of my walking away empty-handed. Until the crowd dispersed. Belle picked up a drunk Luke. I watched from afar as they embraced. Lips locked in what must have been years of pent-up longing. Their car started rocking rhythmically the moment the doors closed. Silently. I recorded everything through my phone lens. Then I called Gus. "What's up, kiddo? Never thought you'd call this late." His voice instantly touched the softest part of my heart. A tear escaped before I could stop it. "Hey, are you crying?" he asked urgently when my choked sob came through. Through hiccups. I mumbled an address. Within 30 minutes. Gus found me trembling on a sidewalk bench. He draped his jacket over my shoulders and sat quietly until I stopped shaking. "Where's Luke?" "Cheating." Gus's jaw clenched like steel traps. "Point me to that bastard." I gripped his arm. "Not worth staining your hands." He kicked the pavement hard. Frustration radiating from every pore. "Divorce?" My nod came without hesitation. "Any chance it's misunderstanding?" I handed him my phone. The video evidence made Gus's face darken. Without another word, he pulled out his phone and became a general marshalling troops. First call, his top-tier lawyer friend drafting divorce papers. Second, suppliers getting instructions to freeze contracts with Luke's company. Revoke discounts. Switch to full pricing. When the flurry of calls ended, Gus took my hand. "Let's go home." I wiped lingering tears. "Need to move out first." He drove straight to the marital home Luke bought. 3 years of memories here. Now tainted. Want the house? I'll get you the sharkiest lawyer. Anything touching Luke feels contaminated now. We emptied the villa. I waited days for Luke's call to drop the bomb. But the coward never reached out. A week had passed. He hadn't noticed I'd moved out. He kept sending the same daily message, "I have to work late tonight. Don't wait up for me." Meanwhile, I watched Luke parade around the office with Belle every day. The curvy intern who'd call Belle a mistress became our department's punching bag. Overwhelmed with sudden workload spikes. She often stayed late. I started keeping her company. During those late nights, we'd hear noises drifting from the executive suite. Luke's too cheap to spring for hotel rooms. She'd grumble around midnight, stacking files. Maybe he likes the office ambience. I'd joke bitterly. I secretly recorded a few compromising clips during bathroom breaks. Might come in handy later. When our internship ended, the girl begged to stay. Job market's brutal. I hate Luke's guts. But rent won't pay itself. She asked my plans. Just need that certification to escape this hellhole. I shrugged. Then the betrayal came. I became the only intern denied certification. The supervisor shrugged. Belle's decision. The girl found me packing. Sobbing. She confessed. Someone overheard me calling her mistress that day. All those late nights? Belle's revenge. I told her it was you who said it. I'm so sorry. Rage burned my throat, partly at her. Mostly at Belle's petty tyranny. I forgive you. I forced out. Good luck with your career. As I grabbed my files. She whimpered about Belle. Don't worry. I cut her off. Then shouted across the cubicles, Belle Morse is a home-wrecking mistress and everyone knows it. The office froze. I stormed into the boardroom where executives gaped at my ruined internship report. Morning light glinted off the conference table as all department heads turned in unison. The executives in the boardroom frowned at my audacity. This clueless girl disrupting their meeting. After 3 years of marriage to Luke, not a single person in his corporation knew what his wife looked like, not even his secretary Belle. Only Luke himself showed a flicker of recognition when I entered. Belle lifted her chin, her polished features twisting into a mask of disdain and impatience. What's so urgent it can't wait? I met her gaze squarely. Are you blocking my internship certification because I called you Mr. Zimmerman's mistress? A ripple of surprise passed through the room. Belle's composure slipped momentarily before she recovered with narrowed eyes. If you're already aware, why bother asking? The corporate rumor mill needed scapegoats. And in her eyes, I was the sacrificial lamb. Raising my voice, I declared, my apologies, Ms. Morse. I shouldn't have called you his mistress. Her manicured fingers tightened around her elbows. Too late for regrets. Not at all. I countered, flinging the conference room door open. Let me correct the record. A mistress at least gets acknowledged. You're just his office fling, not even worthy of family registry. The color drained from Belle's face as comprehension dawned on the executives. All eyes shifted to Luke, whose thunderous expression surprised even me. For years together and I'd never witnessed this volcanic anger. Enough! He roared. Enough? They started this humiliation. My internship certification. Now. Luke's chest heaved as he grasped at corporate protocol. Certifications require supervisor approval. Take it up with your department head. Beside him, Belle straightened with renewed confidence. I merely execute Mr. Zimmerman's directives. The charade was laughable. This multi-billion-dollar empire danced to Luke's whims. His refusal exposed the truth. Preserving Belle's reputation mattered more than his wife's dignity. Slapping the divorce papers on the mahogany table, I stated coldly, I'll walk away with nothing in exchange for that paper. Fair trade. Don't you think? Walking away with nothing meant I was giving up a fortune. The expressions on Belle and Luke alone said it all. Even the board members in the conference room perked up like bloodhounds catching a scent. Someone started the exodus. And soon the room emptied. These people had deep ties to Belle and Luke. They wouldn't care about an outsider like me. If anything, they'd rejoice at my voluntary surrender. Without me siphoning Luke's wealth, his position would solidify. Belle could focus entirely on Luke and the company now. Luke, I'll step out so you two can talk. Belle offered. Luke caught her hand. Stay. We've got nothing to hide. How noble. How utterly nauseating. I'd braced myself for this confrontation, but seeing them entwined like lovers still felt like glass shards in my chest. My breath hitched as I shoved the signed agreement across the mahogany desk. Luke didn't glance at the papers, sliding them to Belle instead. Check if this is acceptable. Her lips twitched upward as she reviewed the document. After an eternity, Belle nodded. Complete forfeiture of assets. It's valid. She produced a fountain pen with practiced ease. Luke ignored the offered pen, his gaze drilling into me. You're certain about the divorce? Do I look like a recycling center? My voice held steady despite the acid churning in my gut. Specializing in trash disposal? Hard pass. Think carefully. He pressed. Divorced women struggle to find quality matches. Belle, she's not forcing you out. The hypocrisy almost made me laugh. I turned to Belle, whose porcelain complexion had gone ashen. Funny how tolerant people suddenly forget to sign internship certificates. She opened her mouth, probably to spin some corporate doublespeak. I cut her off. Save it. Paint me as the villain if you want, the third wheel. The homewrecker. All I care about is getting credit for 3 months of 80-hour weeks. As for these two, they could rot in hell. Preferably on another continent. Luke scrawled his signature as Belle's eyes welled up. 2 copies of the divorce agreement. 3-month cooling period before finalization. My internship certificate landed on the desk with his embossed seal. I was halfway to the door when Luke's voice stopped me. Sue. This is rash. I'll transfer $20 million, consider it compensation. Keep it as a wedding gift. I didn't turn around. Hope it covers the open bar. Belle found her backbone now that the ring was practically on her finger. 20 million's more than you'll ever need. Stop being dramatic. If I wanted security, would I be leaving? My laugh sounded brittle even to me. But hey, maybe I should stay after all. Become your permanent third wheel. Her mouth snapped shut like a Venus flytrap. Luke massaged his temples like some wise elder. You're too young to understand what you're throwing away. That's the point, isn't it? My hand tightened on the doorknob. Youth means I can still afford to walk away. The door clicked shut on my old life. Divorce isn't the end of the world. Been there. Done that. I'm only 21. My whole life's ahead of me and I'll live it exactly how I want. After returning home, my brother Gus was too busy to spend time with me. So my sister-in-law took me on a therapeutic vacation filled with shopping sprees. I was finally starting to heal. I might have completely forgotten about Luke's existence if he hadn't shown up at our doorstep. From my upstairs window, I watched him arrive with gifts. That familiar pang hit my chest. Ever since Gus cut off suppliers working with Luke, that Belle keeps approaching your brother about discount negotiations. My sister-in-law commented, noticing my reaction. She's smart enough not to come here as a woman only ambushes him at the office. Now that Luke's company's in trouble, he's desperate enough to come personally. Should we let him in? I shook my head. Gus isn't impulsive. If Luke can offer better terms than others, he'll choose him. Otherwise, why bother? She nodded. Your brother's just worried you're not over him. I moved on the moment we signed divorce papers. He hasn't called once, that says everything. Why dwell on someone who never cared? Let Gus handle business however he wants. Good to hear you're handling this well. She sent Luke away. He returned next day with different gifts. Luke always paid attention to thoughtful details. The kind that made him seem warm and reliable. For 7 straight days he came. Sometimes waiting hours in vain. Honestly, if he'd been here to win me back, I might have caved. But it was always about business. My sister-in-law finally called Gus to resolve this. Without revealing our family connection, Gus sent representatives to explain why Luke's company wasn't the best choice anymore. The logical arguments made Luke back off. Yet fate's funny. At Gus's product launch event, I accidentally spilled soda on a socialite's dress while wearing my casual hoodie. Before I could apologize properly, a scarlet-clad Belle materialized. That dress costs more than your entire wardrobe. Sweetheart. She sneered. I turned to face my ex-husband's business associate. Time had only magnified her toxicity. Mrs. Morse. I'll cover the cleaning bill. Belle cut in before the flustered woman could respond, her crimson nails gleaming like warning signals. Mrs. Lou, this dress is a designer limited edition worth over 100,000. Do you really think you can afford to replace it? Mrs. Lou frowned and immediately pulled Sue behind her in a protective gesture. Miss Belle, I'm not blind. You clearly pushed this young lady, making her spill soda on me. I haven't even asked Sue to compensate me yet. Since when did this become your concern? Her raised voice drew curious glances from nearby guests. Belle froze, realizing she'd trapped herself. Sue smirked coldly. She'd mistaken Sue for some powerless girl. But Mrs. Lou had been Sue's sister-in-law's close friend for years. Between family connections and childhood bonds, she'd never side with some outsider. Belle swallowed hard. I was just greeting her. I didn't push. Mrs. Lou snorted. Save your breath. Not that I'd expect payment anyway. Last I heard, you're barely scraping by as that bankrupt CEO's kept woman. The barb made Belle's eyes water. The commotion finally drew Gus over. What's going on? Before Sue could speak, Mrs. Lou gave a crisp summary. Gus's gaze turned glacial as he commanded Belle, apologize. Everyone knew Belle needed favors from the Millers. Humiliation burned her cheeks as she forced out a choked sorry. But bitterness still leaked through. Mr. Miller, does your wife know you're parading this used goods around? Gus laughed coldly. Feel free to ask her yourself. The crowd dispersed with disdainful snickers. Sue spent the rest of the evening safely anchored at Gus's side, sipping champagne while Belle desperately circled the room. Potential business partners mysteriously developed urgent conversations whenever she approached. Discarded business cards littered the floor around her, the most brutal professional slaughter Sue had ever witnessed. Until Luke arrived. She rushed to him with tearful complaints. After soothing her, he made his way to Sue. Gus arched an eyebrow. Want me to kick him out? Sue shook her head. Let's hear his script first. Give us space. Luke sat across from Sue, those familiar bright eyes now shadowed with exhaustion. His company's troubles were clearly taking their toll. Long time no see. Sue. He didn't know Sue had seen him begging at their mansion gate last week. Is this really your choice? He leaned forward. Being someone's mistress? Sue raised an eyebrow. His lips twisted mockingly. You threw away being Mrs. Zimmerman to become a kept woman. Pathetic. I went along with his words. It's all right. Not entirely boring. His tone sharpened. Stop playing games. I'll pretend I never saw that divorce agreement. Come back to me, and you'll still be Mrs. Zimmerman. I suddenly laughed. Genuinely perplexed. What are you talking about? He took a deep breath. I understand you want revenge. But don't be so naive. Trading your youth for fleeting affection from some man is meaningless. You'll gain nothing. Gus isn't right for you. He'll never divorce his wife for you. Stop wasting your energy. I waited calmly for Luke's next words. I didn't contact you after you left because I wanted you to experience hardship. But I never imagined you'd resort to such extremes. This is my mistake. But Belle has dedicated herself to our company under immense pressure. She's secured 90% of our projects. I need her, you should understand that. Instead of retaliating by clinging to Gus like some petty schemer, I curled my lips into a smile. There are a few things you've misunderstood. What things? I toyed with the fruit platter before me, twirling the cocktail fork absently before enunciating. Most projects Belle secured came from Young Group. The executive handling those deals? Gus, my brother. Luke's brows knitted. Impossible. Your surnames don't match. Our family practices equality. My brother took our father's surname. I took our mother's. Would you like me to call Gus and his wife here to confirm? Luke froze. Then those contracts Belle obtained were actually. I chuckled. Exactly. My brother supported his brother-in-law out of familial obligation. Now that his sister's divorced, that arrangement ends. Honestly, you've profited enormously these years while creating endless headaches for Gus. His complexion darkened. I continued, reckless expansion. Compromised quality standards. Constantly demanding higher profit margins from young group through discounted deals. If not for this divorce, I might never have discovered how much suffering you've caused my brother's employees. At this, Luke pressed his lips together. I delegated those negotiations to Belle. I never imagined I had no interest in his excuses. Instead, I played a video showing Belle arm in arm with a 50-year-old, ruddy-faced man entering a couple's hotel, his hands roaming freely over her body as they laughed. Luke's face turned storm-cloud dark. I offered consolation. You must recognize that man, supplier from Nontone Group. Belle truly loves you. I could never match her devotion. Treasure her. I wish you both happiness. Leaving the banquet hall, I received a call from my brother Gus before reaching home. After you left, Luke stormed out too. Belle chased after him, they argued. He shoved her to the ground without an ounce of chivalry. Luke's ruthlessness knows bounds. Thank God you saw through him. Calmly I asked, how long until his company collapses? Gus calculated, a month? A year? Depends if he finds new opportunities. Competent executive. Terrible judge of character. Beyond Belle. His senior staff are vipers, though compared to Belle, those leeches actually consume flesh and bone. Indeed. Recalling Luke's inner circle, sycophants blind to ethics, they'll inevitably drag him under. At graduation ceremonies, the plump girl from earlier reappeared collecting her diploma. We crossed paths, she'd grown haggard, clearly suffering under Luke's employment. She greeted me. I ignored her. Persistent. She blocked my path apologizing, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I never meant, I sighed helplessly. I accept your apology. But expecting us to be as close as before, isn't that asking too much? The plump girl's eyes reddened as she understood my meaning. Yet she proceeded to update me about Luke's company situation. Mr. Zimmerman's firm officially declared bankruptcy. The board pinned all debts on him while they'd already sold company secrets to competitors as bargaining chips for their new positions. Now Luke's practically cornered. And that Belle got caught up in a sex scandal. Several CEOs' wives stormed the office and beat her up. My eyebrows shot up with morbid curiosity. The girl eagerly continued. Belle had broken bones and bruises covering her body. Furious, she tried forcing Luke into marriage to salvage her reputation. But he refused. Worse, Luke leaked security footage online showing Belle checking into hotels with older executives. The girl leaned forward conspiratorially. Belle completely lost it, screaming she'd done everything to save his company. They had this massive fight where she threw the first punch. Luke fought back so violently he smashed the office desk. After that mess, Belle quit. Luke's been scrambling to handle her abandoned projects. But, she shrugged. Got laid off last week myself. Company can't even pay severance. I handed her Gus's business card. Tell him Sue sent you. Her tearful gratitude almost made me uncomfortable. 3 months later at the courthouse steps, Luke appeared holding roses, eyes glistening with performative remorse. Sue. It was all Belle's seduction. I've always loved only you. I tuned out the rehearsed speech. Not once during our separation had this prideful man reached out. He'd banked on me crawling back, willing to excuse future betrayals. Now watching his desperate act, I finally understood. Had his affair succeeded, he'd never have regretted our divorce. Smiling coldly, I produced another card. My best friend's father heads the state procurement department. She's 18 and seeking a mature boyfriend. You'd be perfect for her arm candy collection. Luke's fingers trembled slightly as he took it. Do you think she'd mind the age gap? My laughter echoed across the marble steps. His face darkened like storm clouds. Look. Just a little test. He couldn't even handle that. And he dared say he'd only love me forever. So damn fake. He immediately backtracked, denying his earlier words while making his reconciliation intentions clear today. No. I meant, do you still dislike me? I want us to work things out. Let's not get divorced. Okay? Sue, I do dislike you. My frank rejection derailed his prepared romantic script. I advised him, move on. Sign the papers first. If you make me happy, I might introduce you to more of my wealthy friends. They're older but decent in bed. With some grooming, they'd look presentable enough. His cheeks flushed pink. No idea why he's getting shy. At least he should understand we're impossible now. After getting the divorce certificate, Luke kept pestering me about the preferences of the girl on that business card. I fed him random lies. Claimed I was running late. Told him to contact her himself. Once in my car, his call came through. He roared, Sue. What's this trash card? The number answered asking if I want half service or full service. What's this 300 per session? 800 overnight crap? I feigned surprise. Oh, that must have been some flyer on my windshield. Just a prank. Don't get mad. Anger causes wrinkles. We sugar mommies like mature charm but not actual old hags. His furious ranting got cut off as I blocked all his contacts. After graduation, I chose studying abroad over taking over family business. Why work hard when I can play? Let my brother and sister-in-law handle corporate scheming. Never expected to meet an acquaintance at the airport lounge, Belle, wearing a face mask while clinging to a 70-year-old man she called baby. She shamelessly approached me asking about Luke. When I answered, she smirked, guess who coached that trash into sugar mommy circles? I offered marriage to rebuild his life. But he called me poor. Rather chase wealthy cougars. Reapplying her sunglasses, she said, you should thank me. Without my intervention, that garbage would still be dragging you down. As she strutted away, I casually scrolled to the video of Luke stripping for my girlfriends. Pathetic. Sent a message to our group chat, $1K per drink. Ruin him. Years abroad washed away memories, until one night at a bar with friends. There he was, Luke grinding on a pole. For old time's sake. I watched younger girls shower him with cash. Watched him grovel for more bills like a trained mutt. I can't help but sigh at my past blindness. After settling the bill, my friend and I headed home. Luke stood at the entrance desperately calling out to customers when someone threw a drink in his face. He prostrated himself in humiliation, apologizing to the patron. His eyes accidentally met mine as he looked up. Sue, he murmured. I smirked, pulling loose change from my purse and handing it to him. His body stiffened. By the time I slid into the car, he remained frozen in place through the rearview mirror. God knows what dark thoughts filled those extinguished eyes. But ultimately, regret changes nothing. And